No need to jump. You can just talk about it. Okay.
Yeah. I'll let you know when what happens. Anyway, so you guys safely reach Fandlin in the evening around 8 after an exhausting but uneventful march from Cragmore Castle. You all heard.
Mm.
You all head to the Stonehill Inn. Heard. You all head to the Stonehill Inn for a hot meal and a drink, sponsored by Galrin. Galrin eventually heads out in search of Narth, and a few minutes later returns with Narth Sildar in tow. The rest of the evening is spent drinking and discussing the findings made by your party and Sildar. Sal also informs you that because of your deeds in getting rid of the red brands and saving the woodworker's wife and children, Marina Dendra, I found her name, and her 13-year-old son Naz and daughter 18-year-old Nilsa, you have been gifted the old woodworker's cottage near the miners' exchange. Eventually sleep finds you all though. Jacques, after you take your 4 hours of revelry, you awake and head to the closet outside your room in the Stonehill Inn. After about an hour of concentration and bending your will to the strange glowing stone, you feel yourself almost lighten when all of a sudden there's a rush. You close your eyes, the darkness filled with red, and before you know, you are in a strange landscape, a red moon glowing up above and flurries of snow blowing around you. It's dark and hard to see. Everything has an eerie red tinge to it. The cold bites into you, but through the use of the stone and your well-trained and disciplined mind, you are able to fight off the cold for the most part. You make it to the top of one snow flurry or dune and just make out a glint in the distance as your body starts to become incorporeal and you again find yourself sitting in a closet, staring up at your friends, hand gripping the stone so tight that blood pools in your lap. Emma eases your pain with the cure wounds, the beautiful light of the spell making the experience you had feel like a distant bad dream. A brief discussion is had, ending with Sassoon grabbing the stone and making a beeline for the stairs leading down into the bar area of the inn. Jacques, you spend the rest of the early morning sitting in the common room area playing what happened over and over in your mind. The next day dawns just as bright and beautiful as the one before. The cold night spent in the overhang with the icy sleet raining down on your exposed bodies, a distant memory at this point. You all devour your breakfast before making your way to your individual tasks. Beatrice and Sildar have a discussion touching on various topics, and in the end you both agree to share information with each other. Sassoon and Jacques, you guys quickly make your way to Chisendorf Manor in search of the fighting rings. That's what would have probably happened, but we'll see what happens now. Emma, you head off towards Sister Gorela, and we had that Discord session where a discussion was had between you and Sister Gorela, also again touching on various topics. Alright, so what we'll do is we'll jump into the morning first. So I'll say that Galrin comes to the inn knowing that, pretty early, knowing that you guys will be there, and just informs you that in about 3 days' time, he wants to go, once he's recovered enough, he wants to go in search of his lost kin, and perhaps the Wave Echo Cave. If you guys would please join him, he would make it worth your while again, of course. Obviously, he's going to, during those 3 days, do as much as he can to help out Beatrice and Emma, as well as whatever other needs your party might have. And before he says that, he also sits down, obviously, and has a bite to eat with you all. Before running out to either rest up or plan or send out messages to people who might be able to help and assist with what needs to happen. All right, so that just kind of puts it into not just giving a bit of a timeline here. So if you choose to help out Galrin, you have about 3 days to do whatever you'd like to. So we'll probably jump back and forth between those 3 days in this session and perhaps the next. We'll see. but you have 3 days to do with what you wish. Um, uh, yeah. Now we'll go to. I know Emma and Beatrick, you guys, we're just heading to Edamond's orchids, the apple orchids there,
Yeah.
to have a private discussion,
Yeah.
which you guys had. And what do you do at this point after you've had that discussion?
Well, I still need to see Sildar. I might as well.
All right.
Don't know. Would you like to go to see Sildar?
I'm not sure
Hang on.
that
All right.
there is kind of information whether we should. Well, if you feel so, I think we will go together.
Well, I need to see Sildar for something unrelated to our discussion.
Oh,
Yeah, we'll make our way to Sildar.
All right. So you guys make your way over. You were just there, so or not about half an hour earlier. So you begin to make your way back. Jacques, at this point, you can also say what you would like to do. It can be anything within those 3 days, or it can be something that you do at this point. I know you and Sassoon were heading to the fighting pit. You can still do so if you wish. You did hear that there were also sparring happening with weapons, not just fisticuffs. So
yeah. I think Jacques is feeling really kind of shaken after this incident with the stone, and he kind of feels like he let the team down a bit on that one. So he's wanting to focus on training. So as often as he can over these 3 days, fighting, sparring, fucking running and doing push-ups. He's just on like a anime montage of getting stronger.
Training, perfect. Yeah, you want that that skill level to increase. You want that. You don't like disappointing people. You don't like that feeling of letting your companions and your friends, your newly made friends, or any friends really. You don't like that feeling of letting someone down, and you push yourself hard to train yourself up and become better than what you were before. Like I said, if you'd like, you're more than welcome to jump to the pits, and I mean the people are also training there. It's a sort of training with some underhand betting happening on the side.
but
So-
the page is related to the.
Say that again. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, we're just doing it amongst ourselves.
Okay.
So what's happening now?
No, we're just chatting on what Jacques was busy doing. All right. So you can also, if you'd like, procure some things that you might think necessary for if you do eventually head out into the wilderness again.
Sure.
You can think about things you might need, or I don't know. It's up to you, really. But that's
Actually,
also-
can I? So here's what I'm thinking. Actually, that's kind of Jacques' main goal. What he's going to try and do is in the fighting pits, he's going to try and win enough cash for us to buy some healing potions before we head off next, because I think we need to like stock up and not just rely on Emma, so she can have some magic in reserve. So that's his goal. He's going to be trying to earn cash to get supplies for the party. That'll be his way of trying to pay them back.
All right, perfect. We'll jump to some fighting and some betting as well. I'll maybe role play Sassoon a little bit on the side. He's not going to fight just yet. We'll probably get to him when Jeffrey joins next time. All right, but we'll quickly jump back to Jacques, Beatrick and Emma. Emma, do you escort Jacques, or do you walk with him to Sildar? Are you accompanying him?
I'm also needing to see Sildar, but
Alright,
I really also need to talk to Jacques.
okay.
I would have liked a team meeting quickly, but
We'll do that. We'll have that team meeting, but again, it will happen when everyone's kind of present, or at least one
Exactly.
one more other character. Because I know previously I said when there were 6 of us, if 2 are missing, we'll still go ahead. But because we are a party of 5 now, because there's I mean we've got 2 missing now, so we really cut down at this point. But that's what I say, we're just going to jump around within these 3 days. It doesn't all have to happen on the same day. There might be other things that happen, and we'll just kind of mush it all together and try and make it make sense. So we'll just see what happens.
After I spoke to Sister Goriel, the dog goes towards the pits or the.
All right, so you head towards the fighting pits, and where you think Jacques might be. Perfect. All right, you head that way. Okay, then we'll go to Beatrick. You make your way towards Sildar. You remember you left him last in the town master's hall. It looked like he still had some paperwork that he was getting to when you left, and it wasn't that long ago. And you go to the town master's hall. His office door is closed.
Okay.
But enter.
So yeah, I know it's not been long, but.
Beatrick, my good fellow, please. I know it's been a few moments, but come, have a seat.
All right, thank you, son. I appreciate it.
Of course. We're chums now, aren't we, Beatrick?
Right.
Right.
I wanted to honor our agreement that we had last time. Something has already come up.
Already, I mean, it's been but an hour, if even.
That's how people move in the Shadowfall.
My word, what have you heard, man?
All right, I'll tell you, but first I want to know, what are your plans for this threat coming from the Netherese, from my land?
Well, I mean, I didn't realize that there was a threat at the moment. I just want to keep tabs on what they're doing and what they're up to. I mean, you are in the region, and like you've said, you've been sent by some Netherese lord, and that doesn't portend anything good. Yeah. So I just want to know what you know in it, and obviously, I mean, you are a leg man. I can tell that by your skill. You perhaps don't get the full picture or the full plan that your master might be up to. So that I do understand. And that's what I would like us to figure out together, obviously, is what they might be up to. But myself, I mean, this is the first time I've seen a Netherese in a very long time. So I don't think I have no knowledge of any. That's why I was hoping that we could help each other out.
Tell me this much. If I'm not around, can you look after my team?
Well, of course. I mean, I've already provided some aid, and I've got contacts in various cities that can assist in various ways. Obviously, it is limited. We are the Lord's Alliance is held by a code, and we only have so much influence and so much we can do. If a threat is big enough, then we intervene. Otherwise, most often we let things run their course. But I will help as much as I can and where I can. Obviously, this Netherese is something that I have to keep tabs on. Like I said, I don't know anything. You're the first person that I've seen, and that's why my suspicions are just piqued. And I just want to make sure I follow up. And it's my job. It's my duty to make sure that no harm comes to these lands, no evil.
Well, I sure sealed out the note that I received.
He takes a moment to open it up. You see his eyes scanning over the note. He also has a look at the symbol on the front. Well, this is interesting and definitely useful. You have the parchment the letter speaks of?
I do, but I've got a plan in mind, so then that's why I wanted to know that if my friends need aid, you'll be able to assist them.
Oh well, of course, Bedrick. I'll, like I said, assist where I can. You've helped out this town, and you've helped out a few good folk, and I believe helping those who help others is noble, and I'll do what I can.
So Emma's going to come and see you. She's also got some very important information. I don't want to take it out of her mouth, so she will tell you, but there's quite a bit of good information, important artifacts, connections. It might shed some light on what's going on. The threat from Netherese, from the Shadowfell. I'm gonna handle that.
You're gonna handle, okay.
I'm gonna put my thought on that.
All right, please,
I've been in the Master Service for many years and I don't care to count. And I'm tired of paying that debt.
All right. Well,
My sister's not gonna be safe, won't be safe if I find her unless the root of the problem is gone and I need to take care of that. So I'm gonna use those notes to communicate to them under the impression that I have something.
All right.
And I'm gonna make my way back that side to handle that situation.
All right, just be careful, Bedrick. These people are cunning and powerful, and but it does seem, based on this note, that there is some interesting information that they also appear to have. These attacks that are happening on Alvin settlements. I mean, these must be remote villages. I haven't heard of these. I've heard of, for instance, of Coneyberry, of course, and a couple of other homesteads that were attacked. But it's unsettling when the Alvin settlements are under attack and they can't defend themselves. I mean, they know their homelands as well as I know my suit of armor. It's part of it.
Look, it's no mystery that I've grown a soft spot for one elf in particular, and I want to ensure that their safety is number one. You'll see it later. You know what I'm talking about.
Right. No, I know. I had a sneaky suspicion. As long as your intentions are honorable, man. You have proven yourself thus far, but do know that I have my eye on you.
Okay. I'm gonna ask you another favor. I'm gonna leave you a note. If you can give it to her when she comes and sees you.
All right. What note is that? Okay, that's fine. Do you wish me to read it or just hand it over to her?
Just hand it over to her.
Right. I'll do that.
Okay.
Are you planning on heading over there now?
Well, stealth is my game, so the sooner I disappear, the better.
All right. Well, Bedrick, just be careful and just remember that sometimes your friends or allies, they care. So just make sure you tell them. You don't have to tell them you're leaving, but just let them know that you appreciate them. And good luck, man. All right. You still there, Alex? Am I still there?
I can hear you.
All right. Okay, I think we can't hear you. Hey, Alex. Anyway, let's we'll leave it at that for there for now. We'll quickly jump to the pits where you and Sassoon have made your way to the top of this hill. Let me quickly get some. Hang on, sorry. Everything is freaking updated here that I don't know where anything is anymore. There we go. Alright, so to the top of this hill, at this rundown manor house. Things are in, crumbling in disarray. There's not much up there. It's long been thought that this hill was haunted by ghosts, and a lot of people have avoided this place. But ever since the Red Brands have been routed from this place, people have come to, well, not come, they've now used this space as a bit of training in areas where, because of all the debris lying about, it makes it ideal. Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you now, I think. Yeah, still breaking up a little bit. No, now we've lost you.
Sorry, lost you one more time.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Nothing. Yeah, you're clear as well.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. All right, so we'll come back to you now, Bedrick. So they use this terrain, these broken down ruins, to almost simulate like battle, like a battlefield or difficult situation that one might find oneself in. So using the terrain around you to your advantage. There are various things strewn of broken rocks, bits of wood and debris, fallen down walls, roofs, a tower lying broken, as almost like in the picture, down the center of the main square, which is also strewn with all various types of rubble and debris. Unlike the picture, however, it's a beautiful morning. It's not snowing. It's nice, and it's going to be a nice warm spring morning. There are people up there already, various farmers and wood cutters and woodworkers, some all shapes and sizes of men and women also there, from small halflings to half elves. There is Sassoon would recognize. No, he wouldn't. He hasn't met him yet. But there's a oldish half elf gentleman there, kind of directing what's going on. There's various not necessarily rings, but people like surrounding two main areas pretty much. You can see in the one area there's a bout on busy happening. Two men busy fisticuffing and almost wrestling. It looks very much like MMA fighting. Probably not as intense. It doesn't look like the skill level is very high of the current combatants. But they are going at it with enough gusto. You can see their skill level isn't very high. But there is a large-ish half orc man there, quite big. Like with a big belly, large burly arms, and he's busy shouting instructions. Keep your arms up. That's it. Left, right. Now dodge back. Kind of shouting shouting instruction, trying to teach these I was going to say not wetfish. These green boys how to handle themselves in hand or fist to fist combat when you don't have any weapon around. It's a little comical because they're still not very. You can see they're not comfortable with punching each other, and also when they take those hits, there's some winces. Even though the punches don't look so hard, there's fuck. And then on the other side is another group of people, and there you see. You hear the clanking of metal as there are some sword bouts on the go as well. This fight, however, looks like these combatants have some skill. Sassoon actually recognizes the one as one of the Red Brands that they had managed to, or that you guys had managed to defeat, Jacques, before you were there, and the other one, just an unknown person that doesn't look like anyone familiar. However, they are going at it with extreme energy and moving very quickly, very elegantly, and you recognize that there's some skill there. And they make hits. You can see they're making hits on each other. There is no blood. You can assume that these are probably blunt weapons that they are busy using to train or boust with. What you also notice is, okay, so as you walk up, that's kind of what you see immediately. I'll have you at this point roll a perception for me, please.
Alrighty. Perception +4. Come on. That is a 19.
Nice, yeah. So as you're watching this, you're busy taking in all the details of what's going on. Your fighter's mind busy calculating attacks. You see one of the guys drop his guard slightly. You think to yourself, if I was there, I would take that gap. Your mind sharp at this point. You're after the previous night. Your nerves are almost on edge. But also another thing that you notice is that you see some people with like a stylus and a bit of like, it looks like some sort of a clay tablet or something, just busy, like, looks like he's making some scratchings. You see someone come up to him, like whisper in his ear a little bit. You see something like shiny being exchanged. You hear the clinking of coin. As people come and go from this person who's busy just kind of standing there watching and keeping an eye out. You don't recognize him. He's a shortish man with black hair, kind of slicked back. Looks a little oily, not like clean, not like a clean slick. Like he doesn't wash his hair, and he just keep it out of his face. He just kind of slick oils it back like that. His forehead has got some also very like not necessarily shiny, but it's got that dirty oily look to it. And just wearing like a very plain leather jerkin on, not armor or anything, just like a leather jerkin with some breeches. Nothing's too fancy or special, but he almost holds himself with a bit of import, almost like as if he, I don't know, like as if he owns the place almost, but not so overtly that he's like boisterous about it. He's kind of just standing off to one side, watching what's going on, people coming to him every now and then. All right, but what would you like to do, Jacques? You have Sassoon at your side.
All right. He's gonna kind of like nudge him with his elbow and tilt his head towards the training master guy. How exactly does Sassoon know how we would go about joining this process, or would we need to talk to somebody here?
Sassoon says, I've never been here before. I've never done this. Yeah, let's suppose speak to someone.
Yeah, let's go speak to the drill sergeant.
All right, perfect. So you make your way over. This guy, greenish skin. You can see he's a human heritage, because his skin isn't as what would you call it, like it's more like a brown green. It's not so much like a leafy green. It's very like a muddy green color. And as he sees you approaching and your garb, and you can see his eyes are on constant alert. It looks like he has had some sort of military training, perhaps. And he glances over at you as you approach. He doesn't say anything necessarily. He's got like one eye watching you, like just warily. He's not. He doesn't like, you don't see him twitch or move for any weapon or anything, but he looks wary, but he's still got his eye on the two combatants in the circle there.
Right, making sure that his hands are clear and away from any weapons, but not necessarily holding them up in front of his chest. Jacques is going to sort of get a little bit closer and try and greet him. Good morning, sir.
What can I do for you?
My companion and I are looking to do some training, and this looks like the place to be.
Do you know how to handle yourself?
We've been through a bit.
Right. I'm sure you have. He kind of looks at you with a bit of like a an eye roll as if, yeah, he's heard this before. Right,
I mean,
well,
I don't know if you heard about that goblin castle that got totally wiped out, but may or may not have had something to do with that,
so you're the ones, are you? Yes,
allegedly.
I heard there was some rumor floating about this morning about a group of adventurers who had gone and cleared out those pesky goblins. Well, I am impressed. I'll be interested to see what you can do if you are up for it.
Of course.
Right. So, what exactly are you looking for? Are you in the mood for a fist fight? Do you need training? Do you just want to test your skill against someone who could maybe push you a little bit?
Gonna kind of think for a moment and say the ideal thing would be that you put me up against somebody, see where I'm lacking, and then train me in those areas.
All right, I think that we can definitely do for you. I'm Moth, by the way. He says to you as he holds out quite a big hand. Do you take it? Obviously.
Yeah, take it in a grip. I've got -1 strength, so I try really hard not to like yelp.
He actually doesn't grip too hard. He grips hard, like you can feel he's got a very firm hand, but it's very, very controlled. It's not like
Not like a barbarian.
No. You can feel there's a level of control to his hand. Like you are a fighter, so you know just by watching people and how they move and behave what kind of person they might be, and you get the sense just from this handshake that whoever this Moth guy is, he knows how to if you don't know if he can handle weapons or not, but you know he can handle himself, his emotion, and he's in a will.
Cool.
Jacques, you say. Nice to meet you. And you,
my companion
Sassoon. All right, I've heard about you, Sassoon. It'd be an honor to watch you fight. All right. So then I just need to go to where I had the rules for what was going to happen. I have no idea where I had put them.
Oh, shit, we need a rule book.
No, it's not a rule book. It's just like here we go. All right. So he kind of turns to you. Well, it's quite simple, really. Well, we're not. Yeah. So how it works is this is non-lethal combat, as you can see. Obviously, a lot of the men here are very green. Although I'm sure there are one or two who could put you to your paces. All right, so how it works, and he kind of explains this now, but I'm just going to explain to you as normal. So any damage that knocks out a fighter merely wins the round. So you're going to have so this is for the fisticuffs more. So if you decide to do the fisticuffs, if you knock the other person out, it's just the end of a round.
Okay, so you fight to 0 HP, and then the next round starts. You've got full HP again.
Yeah. So no, you're gonna roll hit dice to regain your HP.
Okay.
There are only 3. Yeah. It's gonna be, but there is also only best out of 3, or until the other person has no more hit die to replenish themselves with.
Okay. Cool.
All right. Then it's a full KO. So, okay, the only exception would be any attack that knocks an opponent unconscious via critical hit or enough damage to kill them. So if you knock someone out with a critical hit, that's the end. Then it's you win the round, or you win the fight. Or if you deal enough damage to go over, to kill him outright, if that makes sense. If you go over his HP, which I don't think will happen. But anyway. All right, so at the beginning of each round, you're going to roll initiative. The winner of the initiative roll can take a free action before their turn to attempt an improvised action.
That's so cool.
yeah, this improvised action isn't an attack. It's not an attack or a spell or other normal combat action. To gain advantage. This will okay. Wait, hang on. To attempt an improvised action. Okay, this will result in a skill check or an opposed skill check, as directed by me or the DM, and might lead to more significant combat advantage or disadvantage during the fight. So depending on what you decide to do, it will either give you advantage or it might give you disadvantage depending on how the rolls go, or if there is a roll required. There might not be.
Cool.
If you try the same free action twice in the same fight, you'll have disadvantage on the check. So it doesn't mean you lose; it just means you're gonna roll with disadvantage.
Fuck. Okay.
All right. So the kind of free actions, these are just examples. It can be anything that you can think of. So these are, and you're more than welcome to take these free actions. Is to try and get the crowd on board. So you might give a speech or give get the crowd to cheer you on, and then that way I might give you inspiration. I'll have you maybe roll a charisma check, and then I'll give you an inspiration die, something like that. You can perhaps try throw sand in the opponent's eye, or use deception somehow, like a feint. You can somehow intimidate or use your athletics to bull rush or something like that. Maybe try and figure out what his weaknesses are. So different things that we might have you roll for to give you some sort of advantage, but there's a little bit of risk because if the roll doesn't go fully, or if whatever you try and do doesn't work out, then you might be left at disadvantage.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
All right.
Add some risk to it.
Yeah. All right. Then so yeah, that's with the it's with the fisticuffs and with the sword fighting. He explained Moth also explains with the dueling, they use blunted swords, and it is pretty much when you get a hit in like fencing, you get scored or you lose HP.
Right.
On the strike, but it's a blunt strike, and also depending on how hard it hits, and so you're gonna roll your normal damage and stuff, but it's not going to be a lethal pretty much.
Yeah, Jacques gonna indicate that he's interested in the weapon fighting because he's got -1 strength, so no fist damage whatsoever.
Right, that's okay. I can see you're not the one for fisticuffs. They sometimes. But there's also, I mean, there's not just the fighting. There's wrestling as well. If that's, but yeah, let's start at one point, and if you so choose, you're more than welcome to come back later. And I mean, we only got about half an hour left here on the training ground before everyone heads off. Right, let me quickly arrange a fight for you. And he also kind of had a discussion with Sassoon, which we'll have a bit later probably. And then he makes his way off. You've got a moment to prepare to do what you like as he goes off to arrange a bout. And you can see as he goes off and he's busy chatting to a group of people, there's now a bit of excitement in the air that the heroes of, or one of the heroes at least, of Fanlin have returned along with this new friend of his. So there's some interest happening.
I tell them I'm the hero of the world and I get my ass kicked in the fighting arena.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. All right, but what would you like to do to prepare yourself?
Is Emma and Beatrix still on their way?
So Emma, at this point, there's still a while before she comes. If you want, we can jump to that. So this might happen, we'll say like after the fight or something, or even a bit later during the day. But this is still, at this point, like you and Sassoon reaching the top there, Emma would still be in Sister Garela's home, busy chatting to her. Beatrix, just finishing his chat with Sildar, would be making his way through to where Emma is busy having a discussion with Sister Garela.
Okay, cool. So Jacques just gonna kind of like, he's gonna get his hands on a wooden sword and kind of test the weight, and then he's gonna just meditate for these like 5 minutes, and then we can jump to the others.
All right, perfect. All right. So whilst that's going on, there's also, if you with that perception roll, just to remind you that you did see people placing bets and stuff. So I will say you can have a discussion with Sassoon and you can direct him to what you would like him to do for you, because you obviously can't bet on yourself.
Yeah. Okay, I am going to tell him to go and place a bet, and I'm going to be brave and tell him to place it on me.
All right. How much how much money am I putting down? He asked.
Sure. How much? Let me check my inventory quickly. Well, it says I've got 350 gold. I think that's accurate. So I'll give him 25 gold.
25, perfect. All right. So he goes off, but the bet only really happens once the people know who the fighters are. Obviously, so they know you're fighting, but they're not sure who you're up against just yet. But that will happen. All right. Yeah. So you see Moth off. This big burly half orc. He's got this, like I said, he's got this more human-like skin, but like a brown, tingy green, and this big jaw with tusks coming out. It looks. That's why I say that handshake belied. He looks like an angry, like someone who'd just snap and lose their temper. But from that shake, you gain that he's probably a little bit more than some savage beast. Looks aren't always what they seem. All right. So then let's jump back to Emma. We'll go to you and Jacques, I think. So let's. What?
Hello?
We heard something there, but I didn't quite catch it.
Can't hear them. I can see their green ring going off, but no sound.
Yeah, I can't hear you guys. Testing 1 2. Yo.
Yeah, we can see your ring activating, but we can't hear you at all.
Okay. Well, let's jump to the fight whilst we wait. Yeah. Something's happening there. Something's happening.
Yeah, no, something's definitely happening. It's not a good thing. That's the problem.
What's happening that side?
No, we're struggling with connection heavy. I don't know why. It keeps bombing out on the PC. So when you connect on the cell phone, it seems to be fine. But yeah.
No, I mean cell phone's also okay. It's not. It's not like you have to see. Well, it's not like we're really showing anything at the moment.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll jump to where Emma, you start heading up towards Tresendor Manor, and I'll say at this point, people are starting to head down, and you run into Jacques making his way down. So you can have you do see him. What do you do?
Well,
disconnected.
good to do. Emma's going to ask him if he's going ahead of this after what happened.
Ahead with what? Sorry.
Hang on.
All right.
She's chewing as you ask the question. The fighting. The pits.
I know. We'll say this happens after the pits. I mean, we're just saying that. Like I said, we're just
So
jumping
it already
around in
happened.
time. Yeah, it already happened. We're not going to talk about results. You're going to just have a conversation about what, like ignoring what might happen. You can have a conversation about what happened at the pits, or like later after we actually have the pit session. That's what I say. It's going to be a bit of jumping around and then mushing everything together. So this conversation is just going to be very specific, perhaps It doesn't have to be specific. It can be about his past or things that have happened, but more things of that we know have happened. Not like we don't know what's happened at the pits yet, so we'll see.
Had.
Have had happened.
I'm going to ask Rock to walk with me to Sildar.
All right. So, well, yeah. Sorry, Jacques. You can reply to that.
Yeah, I would be happy to accompany you. Who is Sildar again?
So Sildar is this oldish gentleman. He often speaks in like a very strange manner, in these very strange mannerisms. It's someone that you'd met the night before. He was there with Galrin North, and Sildar was. He's, from what you gather, is part of a group of people called the Lord's Alliance, and he had originally accompanied Emma and Daenerys from Leyland to Phandalin, because that's where they had kind of met during an investigation in Leyland, and on their way to Phandalin, they were just pretty much escorting him, and he came to Phandalin because one of his associates, Jarno Albrecht, had vanished. But it actually turns out Jarno Albrecht was the wizard Glassstaff who was organizing the Red Brands in the town. So he originally came to figure out what happened to him, and then once he realized, okay, no, he was doing bad shit here, he stayed on to investigate what he was up to and try and figure out what's going on. So yeah, he's often just always clad in mail, and it looks like he's a jovial person, and but also from watching him, you get the sense that even though he's probably on the older side, he probably has seen some shit. Anyway, so he came into town, and he also kind of not took over, but he was investigating what the previous town master, or still current town master, what they'd been up to, because there was some serious mismanagement and malfeasance happening within the town. So like money not going to the right places and stuff like that, and pretty much the town master not doing his work. So he kind of took it upon himself to get firstly the town's affairs in order, and then also investigate what Jarno Albrecht was up to in this town. On top of that, he also informed the group that Harbin Wester, the original town master, is still town master, but he has now agreed to share power, or not power, but share the office with Halya. And Halya is, if you spoke to or asked someone, is the owner of the miner, or the leader, not leader or owner of the miners' exchange in Phandalin, and is a woman of quite prominence in the area. And yeah, so people felt that they want, like, you're not sure if people put her there. No one really knows. Well, not you. You guys don't know how she got not made to become town master, but how she managed to convince to share power, pretty much. Anyway, you and Emma head to Sildar. Sildar has set up office in the town master's hall, and yeah. Just give me a moment. I just heard some beeping, but it stopped. All right. So you make your way to Sildar, and all right. This obviously happened I'll say, like, after the fighting. It's late morning now. Anything you discuss along the way, Emma, or Jacques? Anything you ask each other?
Well, I'd like to ask Jacques how he's feeling, whether the experience from the previous night made him feel any weaker? Um, you know,
How
talk about the whole stone thing from the previous night, and then yeah, basically awaiting his answer in quite, you know, anxiously.
Yeah, DM, how is Jacques feeling apart from like anxious and upset at sort of being caught off guard? Is he feeling weaker or possessed or anything?
Um, roll an insight check for me.
Oh, jeez. Okay, how well do I know myself?
Yeah.
That is 14.
You take a moment after Emma asks you this question to seriously turn inwards and just get a sense of what's going on within. You feel a little shook because it's something you've never really experienced before. You can still vaguely remember the cold. It does feel like a bad dream because when you woke up, all that cold and whatever you were feeling in that place kind of becomes like when you wake up, from a bad dream, you have this moment of fear and fright, and it remains for a good few minutes. But then after a while, you kind of almost laugh it off as if that was just a bad dream. And it's a similar feeling. You vividly remember what happened in the dream, but the sense is almost like well, that's what it was. It felt like a dream. It didn't. Your physical form feels good. Maybe your psyche is a little bit shaken from the experience, but physically you feel 100%. I mean, you realize you've got your rest in. You don't need much in terms of rest and sleep, so you don't feel tired or anything.
Okay.
But just a little shaken, perhaps, and nothing. You don't sense or feel anything untoward. You don't feel. Yeah, you feel okay.
All right. So after taking like a moment to reflect while they're walking, he kind of says, at the time it was just sheer terror being wherever I was, kind of describing the sensations and what I saw being in the dunes, being in this like weird red blizzard kind of vibe, and then being brought back. So I think I'm just frustrated that I let it get the best of me. But at the same time, I feel as though if I was in there for a little bit longer, something was going to happen. I'm just not sure what it was and if it was going to be good or bad. Probably bad, but it might have been insightful.
Yeah, you do have this sense of, you pretty much accurately described it. You have this sense of on the cusp of something. I mean, you had just nearly seen something through the blizzard when all of a sudden you came out of it. And you couldn't quite make out what it was. You saw a glint, and then you were back in the cupboard.
Whatever it was, it's bad news, and I'm worried about it. I'm also worried about the fact that the stone isn't drinking any more of my blood. I don't know if I've fed it or if it's just broken. Please. I mean, meta Jason says, please God, don't let it be broken, but in game Jacques, like, oh, please let it be broken.
Yeah, I mean, Sassoon, he'll probably be following behind a little bit, and the stone still, he's got it, and it still looks, I mean, he's tied it to his waist or to around his neck or something, and it's still, even though it's been in close proximity to you throughout the morning and stuff, and it hasn't changed. Yeah, nothing's changed.
Yeah, so nothing happened during the fight.
No, well, we're not sure yet.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll get there when we get there.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 So what do you think about all this, Emma? Because my brain is full. Oh, I can't hear you.
Sorry, no,
She's not talking.
I was talking, waiting on the DM to say something, but, well, Emma's got quite a lot on her mind. I actually forgot to send Tony what I had in my mind as the elf, but I had in my mind like I did it on a piece of paper and I forgot to take a photo. It's like pieces of a puzzle or like a circle, a word with a circle around it,
Trying
and
to
then
piece things
trying to
together.
connect. Can you hear?
Yeah. You're saying
Oh.
you're almost making like a mind map type thing, trying to piece together the bits of information.
Yeah, so she tells Jacques about the conversations she had with Sister Cariel about his condition, but holding back on her and Bedrick's condition, feeling that, that might be like more like a team meeting thing. Then also tells him that she's been trying to piece together a few things, and she's got a funny feeling that our group might be in possession of some artifacts, including that red stone that Sassoon likes to call it sexy elf finder or what else. But that although she's been hard on Sassoon about it, there might be some, sorry, I'm just distracted here. There might be some value to what he's been trying to do, but she needs to talk to the team, but she can only reveal more to the team when they all together and can make decisions together. She'll tell him that she'd spoke to Bedrick already, and then tell him what she knows about the curse that Sister Cariel told her about, the French elf curse. And then, just try to hurry along to Silva, because she did make him a promise to, talk to him or to give him feedback. But that's about it she can say for now, without sounding like a cow in the meadow or something.
Alright, no, perfect. So, no, you must, you must, if you want to share information, you must go ahead. Don't feel like you shouldn't say what's on your mind, or what's on your character's mind at least.
Where do we walk? How do I know that it's secure enough to talk to Jacques with everything she's got on her mind?
It's up to. I mean, you can look for a secretive place if you want to have a chat to him, unless you speak to him in. I mean, I mean, it's not difficult to find. Once the town is active, I mean, there's very few people really about in town. Only a few old ladies, a couple of old men sitting about, some kids playing around. Otherwise, most of the folk are out in the fields or in workshops and stuff like that. So it's not difficult to find a quiet place. It's not like it's a booming city. It's a small village with a small population. So it's not difficult finding a quiet place.
Going the route of not knowing anything that Bedrick's been doing, but knowing that she needs to talk to Sildar, she's going to hurry along to the town hall And this moment they reach the town hall, she'll look for a quiet place and then quickly tell Jacques what she can.
Okay, what do
Yeah.
you tell Shark? So you get outside the Town Masters Hall, and actually right across the Town Masters Hall, and you would have been pointed this out, is the woodworkers' home, which now belongs to your group. So you pull him aside. It's not a massive place. It's a good decent size, not huge, but there's a beautiful tree outside on the opposite side of the roadside. Like, so you have the Town Masters Hall here. You have a road running. Then you have your new abode, and then just to the bottom right of it, like further side from the road is a few trees, well kept. Looks looks like a little pretty little what was probably their garden, or where they would have breakfast in the mornings or something like that. It seems quiet enough there.
Well, then she keep an eye on the door of Sildar's door while she's there, while they're there talking.
There's a view of the Town Masters Hall. Yeah.
Okay, so she'll quickly draw pull Jock by the arm to that side.
All right. Perfect. What do you tell him?
First of all, she'll tell him about her visit to Sister Cariel, about his condition. What she said about his condition, that it might be an easy defeat.
Hang on.
Mm?
I think there's trouble. What Sister Cariel said about the fear, that it could be a simple spell, or it could be required of him to perform some deed or something. But then she'll also tell him that she needs to talk to Sildar, but there's been a few what you perceive to be like a pieces of a puzzle that she's been putting down on paper, and she'll say, for instance, the elf head, the fact that I can't remember which episode it was now. I actually listened to it today just to refresh my mind. But I told the team about the drow and lol and the blood offerings almost. I want to say I can't remember which episode. I'm so sorry.
No, that doesn't matter. Yeah, just try and recall what you remember.
Yeah, so Emma told, but Jock wasn't there at the time. I think it was just Bedrick, Ador, and Sassoon at the time, and also obviously Daenerys. Tell him about the elf head they found, and that she's been unable to link everything together so far, but she's got a funny feeling after she spoke to Sister Goriel that their group has some artifacts that might be very powerful white magic or very powerful dark magic, and she's inclined to think that it's very powerful dark magic for elves, or against elves, and that it might be connected all to the book, what's his name? Going to visit Agatha for the book of Boat Gentle, And
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say anything. If Emma actually knew, because I'm actually thinking to my background that Emma's got a letter from a colleague or a letter she never got answered or something, and I'm thinking that's related to this whole thing about where's this powerful artifact. Um, so she's thinking in the line of, is this whole red stone the crux of the story, as well as the spell forge? She's not sure, but she's got all this, and then she shows you like this parchment, hastily, hiding the one where she made sketches of them all, but showing him like she's got the outfit, and Bedrick told her about what they found in the castle, the Kentucky Fried Chicken sort of thing, just less gory. He told her the less gory detail. And then the stone and the book of Baugental. She leaves out the section where she actually got a page from what she believes is the book of Baugental for now. Um, she's not sure how much she can trust Sildor. She trusts him, but in the light of what everything they've got, she feels a bit uncomfortable with anyone at this stage except their group. And then the bad news that even that she can try to cure Jacques with a simple spell, but for her and for Bedrick, there's no simple spell. The Sister Gabrielle set out for a very powerful cleric to help them, but that's obviously if they go to what's her name, Agatha. But that um, she feels like she and Beric might need to leave the group quite soon to protect them all, because they might, from what she's gathered from Sister Gabrielle, they're going to turn into bloodthirsty animals, and there's no guarantee that they won't attack any of their teammates. And all the while keeping an eye on the door from Sildar.
All right. Do you respond to that, Jacques?
Jacques just like listening intently, trying to take in as many of the facts as possible, drawing like connections in his mind, and he says, "All right, well, keep working on it, and once you figure something out, let me know what you want to do, and I'll back you up."
You wanna bite me?
You're obviously not talking to Jacques there.
I sincerely hope not.
I assumed the cat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, well, it's a ferret actually, but yeah.
Fair. Okay. All right. So you finish your conversation with Jacques. Jacques, you get a bunch of information. You're not sure what to make of and what to do with, but you got all these things floating around in your head. So a bunch of things that you're not necessarily not being there from the beginning, and a little bit difficult to piece together, but a picture is slowly but surely being formed of past events. So you finish your conversation, Emma. Do you wish Jacques to accompany you in to Sildar? You don't see him exit. You can assume he might probably still be inside.
Oh, yes. No, you can do so if he chooses, but she's got quite a lot on her mind. And she did promise Sildar that she'd talk to him, and she's not sure that at this stage she would appreciate, somebody that he doesn't know. So she'll.
Shark will like
Right.
take the hint and stand guard at the door.
Alright, perfect. Can you make your way inside? Alright, but before we get to that, we're going to jump back to the pits. Or actually, wait. Just thinking, yeah? Yeah, we'll jump back to
Assuming
the
all
pits.
this, the whole talking and stuff happened while I was busy with Silver, right?
And no, this talking was after, and because she headed to the fight. And where did you say you were going to go? After.
I lost you before I could say anything because I was still busy talking.
alright.
I was still busy talking to Silver, yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah. We still need to go back to that, right? Okay. So you give Sildar the letter.
Yeah.
So this happens before you. Because Emma went up to speak to Jacques, and you went back to Sildar. So yeah, you would still be in there, busy talking to him, I'll say. So you hand him the letter, and is there anything else you wish to discuss with him or tell him?
No, well, I'll tell him, make sure, so, okay, I would have shared with him, obviously, also the fact of our condition, and then would have told me that we were going to turn into some, bloodthirsty creatures.
Yeah. It's
so I
also
said
what
to
Radoth had also said the same. He said that.
Yeah, so I would say
yeah.
to him, like, I'm going to use that to my advantage. I mean, obviously, the cure doesn't seem to be a thing for two, so I'm going to, make sure Emma gets cured, for what it's worth. And then, I'm going to use this as power, to aid my goal. Then I also put a statue of a naked elf, a very sexy elf, apparently. And I say to him, well, what are you giving her the letter? Would you want to just hand this over as well?
He takes it from me. It's some good work. Right, I'll make sure she gets this.
All right, and then from there, I will then say, Sildar, I sincerely hope I see you soon. Please stick to what we agreed. I go away trusting you. I hope you can do the same for me.
All right, Bedrick, good luck out there, and Godspeed, man.
Yeah, now leave.
All right. As you leave, you see Emma under a tree on the opposite side of the road that the Time Masters Hall is on, and the exit. It's at this point, Emma, when you turn to go to the Time Masters Hall, you see Bedrick standing there, and you head obviously in that direction. Jacques, you go and stand there next to Bedrick as Emma enters. Do you say anything to Bedrick as you walk past him, Emma?
I would say to him, we've already spoken. I need you to come with me, please.
Come on.
Inside, talking to Sildar.
I just told Sildar now. I think I'm crazy if I come back a third time.
Well, you're not there to talk to me. You're there to listen to the crazy stuff inside my mind.
You really need me there?
Yes.
You don't want to go with Jock, rather?
I'll rather have the whole team with me at this point, but seeing as Zatoon is intent on getting money to heal us, and I see that I might give him a lot of shit, but okay, well, she doesn't play shit, but
Yeah, no, fair enough.
I might treat him like a little brother, but he's exactly that to me.
Yeah.
I still feel like him and Ador might be. We're a team. You, all the family I've never had. Well, I felt I never had. So I'd really like the support of everyone, or to share what I have and couldn't piece together with everyone. We're both going to die or be cured, so
Well, we'll be cured.
we'll.
That's For sure. Don't worry.
Oh, there's no guarantee.
Oh, you're on the right path. With SG, you managed to uncover what you need and what needs to happen. So,
After all you've told me, now you want to bail out on.
I'm not bailing. I didn't say I'm bailing.
Then go in with me. God damn it.
Not you. Can't say Mayfork, it's fine. I think Afrikaans is better.
Speaking Netherese.
Right? And I look at Jock and I'm like, elves, right? And then I say,
Jock isn't after you now, you're
I
just
know.
insulting him.
well, if anything, he understands what I'm coming from.
Yeah, he just laughs. He gets it.
There you go. Okay, then I take like I wouldn't say like a deep breath of desperation, but I take a deep breath. And I say, right, then you first. As we go in, then I'll just make sure that Silda sees me and I'll wink at him. And
Yeah.
from behind Emma, I'll just put my finger on my mouth as if to say like a shh.
I'll
Don't say
say
anything.
roll a sleight of hand. But as he sees you, he quickly hides. I'll say you try and rush ahead a little bit, perhaps. Okay, no, you did what you said.
No.
That's fine. No, that's
I'm
fine.
behind
We're not
you.
going to go back on that.
Yeah.
Okay, so roll a sleight of hand for me, please.
Give me a second. I just need to get to my character sheet. It's loading.
Hey, Doc. Damn it.
Sleight of hand. There it is.
Go out.
Digital rolling. Give me a second.
Yep.
And that'll be a 22.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. You managed to easily enough hide it from Emma's perception,
Yeah.
it was quick enough that let's see if Silva can hide the statue without
There's a very angry, almost elf in this house right now.
yeah. No, he manages to quickly seeing like you approaching, like very, well, not approaching, but seeing you, he quickly, I mean, yeah, he moves without much notice from Emma. He moves the statue and off the table, so it doesn't look like this. Yeah. Anyway, carry on. Emma, you enter, and Silda says, Emma, my dear, well, lovely to see you. He kind of looks not like shifty or anything, but he looks a little surprised. And Beatrick, you're back. Please, both of you, have a seat. As he points, there's only one chair in the room, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'll stand by the door on the inside.
All right. Emma, it's good to see you. Is everything all right?
Well, Emma will respond by keeping an eye on Patrick and Jock, and trying to. If I tell them to sit down with her and
There's only one chair.
trek 'n lappie grond na te.
Alright.
Tell Hilda then, oh, just say, well, you'll tell me, you'll be the judge of, what I'm about to tell you.
All right. What do you have to tell me?
Hang on a second, she's coming.
Sorry, it's just many things to do. Sorry, where am I?
What do you
What do you have to tell me?
All right. She wants to make sure that she can still trust Solder, because at this stage of what she knows, or thinks she knows, because she doesn't know it for sure, it's just a puzzle that she's trying to put together in her mind. She wants to make sure or ask him how she can still trust him, or can she still trust him?
Why?
Does she know he's going out of town the next morning?
Well, he mentioned it to Bedrick. I don't think you would know. He said it might be the next morning or the day after, but very soon.
Yeah. Very unsure.
He didn't
Okay,
he
then
didn't
she'll
mention to
mention,
Bedrick
you know.
he's got business elsewhere.
Okay, then she'll mention about his mentioning of business elsewhere and asking him if he is willing to stay.
Willing to stay, my dear. I mean, I think things seem to be settling down here in town, and I need to report my findings to my superiors. They would want to know what's going on. I've sent some preliminary reports ahead, but there's also one or two things I need to check up on and also put some pieces together.
Mates, the tiefling, the crazy cat,
60 French.
the my fellow elf and Bedrick. And I know you've asked me about Bedrick before, and I promised you I would come to you and give you an update, but I promise I can give you this feedback that my teammates
I'm like, whoa, should I be listening to this?
sit down.
You just see a little smirk come over Sildar's face, like like oh yeah. Yes, carry on.
She'll obviously blush a bit while she says that. But she'll say, "I'll never admit this in front of Sassoon, but he's never given me any reason to distrust him, although I think he's crazy. Normally there's some method in his madness, and I think, given the situation we are in, I can see the method in his madness. He's like a little brother to me. It's annoying at some points, but I love him all the best, you know. Same for Ador. In my culture, I've been taught that, you know, us elves possess the high magic, or, you know, we alone masters of magic, and I believe that the tiefling has a very bad reputation in our culture, in our elfin culture, but he's shown to me that it's every bit as worth of, you know, performing and possessing that magic very responsibly thus far. The Jacques you don't know, we sort of adopted him when he also came to our rescue along the way. I very strongly suspected him because I thought he might be sent by my parents to spy on me. But he's proven himself to be a loyal teammate. So what I'm saying now is that I trust everybody that is in our team, and that includes Daenerys, whom I miss very much. I wish she could have stayed, but I understand her circumstances. I would wish that we could have all this conversation with you in private, because I truly believe that you would want to stay for this.
Well, I appreciate your candor, and I trust your judgment. So, thanks for keeping an eye out and reporting back. I do really appreciate it. And don't worry too much about lost friends. They somehow manage to find their way back into the fold. But is there anything I can do for you before I make my way out of town?
Yes, you could have a meeting with the team and
Well, I'll be
myself.
around. Like I said, I'll be around this evening and today. I was planning on probably leaving tomorrow, depending on how today went, and if I got through this pile of paperwork, as he kind of gestures to the papers next door. Just busy compiling reports and finalizing some of the last bit of the town finances, making sure that things have been put aside to the families and businesses who have lost, making sure that they are compensated from what's happened now in the past few months. Obviously, Albrecht was part of the Lord's Alliance, and his betrayal strikes us as well pretty quite deep. We pride ourselves on honor and helping those in need, and he went completely against our creed. So I feel like it's my duty to ensure that those who have lost are in some form or way compensated for that loss. And I am approaching my end, but if you'd like me to stay another day, I can. For you, Emma, I'll stay another day.
Emma
If we
will
can't
respond by-
get everyone together today, that is, or this evening.
Yeah, Emma will respond by, just giving a little bow of her head and saying, "My lord, if it pleases you, I would very much appreciate if you could meet us at our, I believe what's our new townhouse or our condo here in town. What do you call it?
The cottage, or you mean the woodcutter's cottage?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right across the way here.
Yes. And then, as a side note, yeah, she'll keep an eye on Jacques to make sure that he's still upright.
Sorry, say
I'm
that one
not-
more time. What do you do?
She'll keep an eye on Jacques to make sure he's not bleeding from the eyes or something, or from the fingernails or something, and also keep an eye on Pedrick, and then ask if they can meet at the cottage after dinner.
All right. Yeah. You guys can reply, Beatrix, Jacques. Do you want to meet after dinner at the cottage?
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, I suppose.
All right. They agree to that. He also says, whilst all right, I think that I also have one or two other things I'd like to just to speak to you about, Emma, I suppose. And I mean, I suppose now is a better time than any. I was planning on speaking to you anyway, but I wish to make you an honorary member of the Lord's Alliance, if you will choose to join our group or federation. You'd obviously be an entry-level member at this point, but there's always opportunity for growth if you so choose. There's plenty of work to be done to further our organization and help those that are in need. But if you so choose, I would like to grant you the title of Cloak, the entry title for those joining the Lord's Alliance.
Cloak. You're right, like cloak.
Yeah, it's a strange name. It's tradition, you know. So I know it's quite a funny. I remember the days when I was just a young cloak. scampering about the streets of Waterdeep. It was strange times and simpler times, it seems, back then, but nonetheless, I was proud of the title. I do come from a noble family, however, they didn't do much with their lives. They were just living off inheritance, and I chose not to follow the same path. Although when your family knows people, it makes things somewhat easier, but at the same time a little harder. You got to prove yourself that little bit more. You know, people talk when you receive a position that perhaps your father had granted you, and if you, like me at least, I had to prove myself that I was worthy, and I worked really hard. So laugh all you want, but I remember those days with fondness, and as funny a title it is, the Lord's Alliance does great work, and I'd be honoured if you'd join us.
My lord, I do consider it a great honor. But what is expected of me? Do you expect me to spy on my companions? What is expected of me?
Look, we don't do any spying. What we do is monitor. We make sure that there's no bad afoot. You don't necessarily need to report any, or if Jacques has gone and taken a shit around a tree or something. That's his business. But however, if you notice one of your companions do something wrong, I expect you to uphold the oath of the Lord's Alliance, and if not confront, report.
And what is the oath of the Lord's Alliance?
Well, it's just to uphold those. We can discuss the details a little later, but it's protecting those who need protecting, and not putting your will or not forcing your will onto others.
We elves are hardly known to, force our wills or not.
He gives a little chuckle.
Now, at this point, Frederick, here's this phrase. And I just put my hand to my face as if to close my eyes.
Yeah. Well, he gives a short chuckle. He says, well, in essence, we pretty much just monitor networks of bad influencing peoples. We call them black networks. They or anything from the Zentrum, an evil organization who wish to grow influence and not necessarily evil at heart, more wanting to influence, politically influence for their own monetary gain. There's a bunch of different cults and factions across the realm that we try and keep tabs on. Obviously, it's impossible to suppress them for long, but at some or other point they usually rear their heads, and we, at least our group, tries to bring order when these occasions occur.
Well, if we can have a meeting
Look,
with you
think on it. You don't have to accept, obviously. It's not but obviously, I mean, it seems we will be working together regardless for a little bit. So think on it and let me know before I leave. Otherwise, you can always change your mind.
Well, as you said, it seems like we will need each other's help, and then I can't say you'll email the decency, but
Look, I'll get word to you, and if you need to send me any information or you'd like to get hold of me, just send a message to Waterdeep, and I'll tell my contacts to keep an eye out for any of your members or any sign or mention of your group, and they will pass the message on to me. Even in Neverwinter, I have contacts. You just have to ask about and look around. You'll find someone to help you, I'm sure.
She'll still ask for a meeting with him and the team
Of course,
for
of
the
course.
night. And then ask him how much, where they as a team can get weapons or access to weapons, and then as a last thought, like, almost like besides the point, I believe if I to find a pretty dress, I need to go to a certain lady, Thornton.
Yes, hell
Oh,
yeah.
Good luck
Yeah.
with it.
No, I mean, she does seem a bit shady, but I haven't seen any untoward behavior from her. She just seems like a very shrewd businesswoman. But
That she is. You can say that again.
Pedrick, you've had some dealings with her then.
Oh yeah. Lady Alia is no stranger to me.
Well, just watch out for that one. I think she seems to have her own interests in the
She
forefront.
does. Nothing comes for free. Yeah.
Right.
If she puts
Well-
out a price, you can't come close to it. You have to meet the price. That's the problem.
One of those then.
Yep.
Well, if you're in town still, just please keep an eye on her as well and report any suspicious activities that she might be presenting, and we'll try and investigate. But obviously, we can't. Our resources aren't infinite, but we'll try our best to tackle what we can.
No, she's a tough cookie, but I don't think she's particularly any threat. Not now, anyway.
All right, no, that's good to know. Thanks for your insight, Pedrick.
Yeah.
Then, right, Emma, then we'll meet again tonight. I agree we need to have a final discussion before I head off. And then, if you need to get hold of me, just send word, and I'm sure it will reach me.
Yeah, no, perfect. Then we'll meet at the cottage. And if you need to get hold of me in the meantime, you can contact me through any of my teammates. That includes Jean, Pedrick, Sassoon, and Ador.
All right, perfect. Just give me a moment, quickly. No. Anyway, all right. Oh, that's perfect. We'll discuss a bit later. All right, but let me finish up my work here. I've still got quite a bit to do, as I've mentioned, and seems like your party really loves to chinwag. So until tonight.
Oh. I'll just wave this over with a smile. Like if I don't get to see you again beforehand.
Yeah, he gives you a nod as you leave. All right. Now, okay. So exiting, you all guys gather, and we'll get to that point. But now we're going to jump to Jacques in the pits. You see a moth gathered around a group of people. His discussion finished. He turns and he just says, "Right, we got an interesting one today, boys. We have Jacques over here, one of the defeaters of one of the victors of the Cragmore goblins. He's gonna face off with swords against are not swords with weapon fighting against Kisna. And then you just hear the crowd go, ooh, like there's this chatter going around, like, and then all of a sudden a lot of people start approaching that slick backed hair person, and you see him all of a sudden become a little overwhelmed by the amount of interest. Now all of a sudden people are having in this a little bit of fun, a little bit of early morning betting going on. Sassoon also rushes over to place the bet. Right, let's get this going. So we all know the rules. I've spoken to Jacques. Kisna, please step forth. And this very lithe-looking form, you can't see this person's face. They got a bit of a strange-looking, like a almost, you know those masks from what's that? That fighting game, and it's a Mortal Kombat, like Scorpion. They've got that black mask, like kind of wearing that, but it's like it goes into a bit of a leathery cloak, like a very thin type of. It looks like some sort of. It looks like a thin leather, but treated. It looks waterproof, good quality material. Long black boots that come just to below the knee. Dark leather pants, so very dark colors. Dark and brown, not necessarily black all the way. Looks like it's very much trying to almost blend into not the surrounding, but it looks like there's some sort of camouflagey type effect to it. Abraham,
Yo,
hoe gaan het?
vorentoe. Maar julle?
Shame man, ja, goed, is jou krag terug?
Yeah, just came on.
Nice,
Just came on.
nice, yeah. Where are you at the moment?
I think. Oh, no, at my place in Moraleta.
Okay,
There.
okay.
It's just, pretty sure I was supposed to have load shedding yesterday, but it just didn't go off.
Yeah, we were supposed to have from 4 to 6 today, but it also didn't happen. But yeah. So you did miss just a couple of conversations between Sildar and Emma and Beatrick, and between Jock and Emma. But what we're doing pretty much is I cut to a point early in the morning whilst you guys were having breakfast, where Galrin came in and just mentioned that within 3 days he would like to go out and in search of his kin and the Wave Echo Cave. So if you guys wish to join him, he'd really much appreciate it. He just needs to rest up, and also he's going to send out his contacts to try and help out Emma and Beatrick and whatever else anyone else might need. So just spend that time to gather resources and gain his strength again before heading out back into the wilderness. So you guys have some off time to kind of do. So I said we're going to jump around a little bit within those 3 days and then just mush it all together somehow, which we've already kind of started doing with jumping back and forth at the moment. So at this point,
saw on Session Resolve as well.
yeah. So at this point, we are going to we're busy with a pit fight. So Jacques and Sassoon have gone up to the Trisendor Manor, and there were bunches of people busy, looked like train fighting. There were first group of people busy fisticuffing, and then another side, people using blunt weapons to kind of duel with each other. And they'd met a large half orc gentleman called Moth. Yeah, who
Mothman.
Moth. And we're just getting ready, and now Jacques is just about to get ready to fight or duel. So how it works is, let me just re-find it again. All right, so there's going to be 3 rounds. It's first to 3, or best of 3 rather, best of 3. And at the start of each round, there's going to be an initiative roll. Whoever wins the initiative roll gets to have an improvised action. It's not an attack or a spell or anything, but you can improvise something. There might be a roll, and you could have advantage during that round. So it's just a little extra. And also, if those of you who want to, there's also participation. So if anyone would like to participate, so at the top of each round, other than the first, each watching player may attempt to influence the fight somehow. So some overt attempts, like attacks or like a sneaky attack or spell or something. Oh no, sorry, no. Attacks and spells will be banned. On a fail, the opponent gains advantage through an additional strike that deals half damage. So just so that you know. So watching characters, you guys can encourage the crowd to get behind, and that will help gain advantage for your companion. You can encourage or distract the other fighter. You can use your class ability in some way, perhaps. As long as it's overt. Look, this isn't like killing or anything, so it's not like... you can use perception to point out a weakness or something, or just give like your charisma between a round, because there's 3 rounds. Between a round, you might give a pep talk or something, and I'll have you roll a charisma throw, and that might boost your give like an extra inspiration or something to your companion.
Okay.
Yeah. So how it went down now is that they introduced the fighter that Jock is going to face. She's called Kisna, and Moth says we have Kisna facing off against Jock, as we all know Kisna as part of the group that came in who dealt with the orcs that were also hounding the trails. So an interesting fight, and there's a bit of chatter going on. There's excitement. The fight that were happening were more like training. There was some betting happening on the side. I said there's this shortish human, a little bit pudgy with a leather jerkin and leather breeches, dirty black hair, kind of slicked back, holding a stylus and a clay tablet. Busy like taking notes, not like he looks like he almost owns the place, but not very overt, in an overtish way. Like he just kind of stands there with his head held high, like watching what's going on. And every now and then someone will come up to him and he'll just write something down. There's a bit of money that seems to be exchanged. Jacques noticed, and that's also where Sassoon had gone to place a bet for Jacques. Anyway. So this Kisna character steps up, as I was describing her, like darkish clothes to try and blend into the surrounds, a head covering some sort of mask, not a mask, I was saying it's like that Mortal Kombat, like Frost or whatever the guy is, Venom, can't remember his name, anyway, with the covering the mouth and the head like that, and it goes over into
Bane.
like a Bane, not quite like Bane, no. But then it goes over into like a bit of a light looking leather cape that's been treated, probably weatherproof. And she steps up with two blades in hand, standing at the ready in front of Jacques. Moth saying, "Right, we all know the rules, and Jacques, you ready?"
Yes.
Kisna, you ready? This person gives a nod. All right, begin. Okay, let's roll for initiative then.
Alrighty. That is.
Are you ready to rumble?
Are you ready? That is 16.
Nice. Hang on, I just need to get the stats here quick. 2 seconds. Okay. 16. Okay, let me just go to a new page here. Alright. Alright, you win that round. She rolled a 15. So this is the first round. you can have your free action. What would you like to try and do?
Okay. How far apart are we standing initially?
So, like I said, there's all manner of bits of broken down structures and buildings. At this point, I'd say you're probably a good 25 feet apart. You've got a crowd like dispersed, like they're not on top of you in a circle. They're kind of giving you space to maneuver. The point of these exercises is to use the terrain to your advantage somehow. So if you want to look for something or jump on top of, there's no visual aid here at the moment. You can use this image behind, like that's on the screen, as a bit of a reference to what's around almost. But if you're looking for something, you tell me, and I'll tell you if it's possible or not. So you just tell me what you'd like to do.
Okay. I'm just gonna kind of in my mind pretend that we're on the left-hand side of that fallen tower.
Perfect.
And Jacques is going to use this time to kind of like sprint and wall run a little bit and jump, so that when he comes in for the attack, it's coming from above.
All right, so I'm going to have you roll an acrobatics check for me, please. So this is going to see if you get advantage on this first strike or not, or if you get her off balance. I'll say for 2 rounds, if you roll high enough, you can get her off balance for two rounds.
Yeah, that's a 15.
All right, yeah, that will do it. It's not as high as it would be for 2 rounds, but you'll have advantage on this first attack. So roll to hit with advantage.
Righty, with my dulled rapier. That's gonna be 14.
That misses, unfortunately. As you come down with the strike, she darts with quite quick speed just to the right. As you come down, completely missing her.
Yeah. Do I still get my second attack as a part of being a fighter? Yeah.
This I'll say that this is part of your. No. Sorry, that bonus extra bit was you running along the wall. That was your bonus action, not bonus action, but like to give you advantage. So this is still part of your first turn. So if you have any additional action or bonus action, it's like a normal turn.
Yeah. Cool. So then I'll use my second attack. I'll roll without advantage. That's even worse. That's 11.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, she manages to get, as you come down with a strike and immediately come back up, she easily just, casually just parries the blade out of the way. Anything else you'd like to do? You've got movement. I'll say you've got another 5 to 10 feet of movement.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to back up a little bit by 10 feet just to get a bit further out of her reach, and then I'll...
She will have an attack of opportunity, hey?
Okay, no, then never mind. I'm going to stand my ground, I'm going to look her in the eye, and I'm going to be like, hey, but in a sexy French accent.
You see these eyes like just glint, like you see this like all you see now that you're so close up are these emerald green eyes. They like they almost there's not, I wouldn't say grass green, but there's this shiny like a jewel pretty much, and you see this flash of something in the eyes. You're not sure what, as she comes in for the attack.
Right.
With her 2 swords, she's going to go in with the first one. Fuck, that was shit. That is 13 to hit.
Oh, I'm a 14, so she just misses.
Alright, as she comes in, the blade's moving very quick. That's one. This is a multi-attack. She gets 3 attacks.
Oh shit.
This is a 17 to hit. No, not 17, sorry. 24 to hit.
Yeah,
Alright.
that hits.
So then you take... okay, that was shit. That's 1, that's 7. You take 11 points of damage. Remember, this is just—it's not actual damage. It's just the finesse of this, not the finesse, but the skill of the strike. So you do take that down from your HP, and when your HP is obviously at 0, that's the end of the round, depending on who goes to 0 first. So you take 11 points of minus. Well, okay. Anyway, you get the idea. She goes in for the attack, and very quick for the first one of the miss. Second one coming in across, smacking you on the shoulder, or not on the shoulder, under your shoulder as your blade's lifted, and then the other one coming up almost like an uppercut. This one not so great. 13 again.
Right, just miss.
All right. She is going to. Okay, that's going to end her turn. She just stands ready. Yeah.
Cool.
Actually, no. Sorry, she gets one. She gets one more strike. Sorry, because that was a because that's her multi-attack action. So she gets 3 strikes. With a melee attack, and then because she's dual wielding, she has a bonus action. Strike. She's very quick. Fucking 13 again. Yeah, fuck it, I'm rolling. I'm not gonna tell you what I rolled because otherwise you're gonna know what her. You'll probably get it, but I've been rolling the same fucking number the whole time. Anyway, obviously, that ends her turn. She stands ready.
Right, so we roll advantage initiative again for the next
No,
attack.
only at the top of each round.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I just attack normally
bounce.
now.
Yeah, so now it's just turn. Yeah, so now it's quick. There's no more time to. This is like matter of seconds. There's no more time to analyze or try something. You can use your action to try something to put her at disadvantage for her attack and maybe or put you advantage for your next attack. So you can still try something if you like.
Yeah. I would like to use my action, DM, if you'll allow me, whatever role it needs to be, to attempt to disarm her, whichever hand looks like her less dominant hand.
Alright, it's a little bit. I'll say first roll a perception check for me to see if you can pick up which hand might be her less. This is just a quick perception, so the DC is going to be high here.
Okay, 18.
Yeah, okay. So with that, it looks like she favors her left hand almost. It's difficult to tell because she seems very skilled with both, but it seems like she's been trying to throw you off balance with her left, making it appear as if her right might be her weaker.
Yeah, cool. Then I am going to target her right hand.
All right.
And attempt to disarm it.
So I'll say roll a normal attack.
Okay. Come on. No, it's terrible. That's a 9.
Yeah, no, unfortunately that doesn't do it. You try and go in for the sword, but she's too quick. She sees what you try to do and she moves out of the way. Her hand kind of just lifting up and your sword going underneath her arm. There might have been an opportunity there for you to have struck her in the ribs if you had done well. No, but you're not sure how quick she is. You're still trying to get the measure of this person. Yeah, what do you do?
What I'm gonna do is I'm going to then try and angle myself around her so that she doesn't have the opportunity to kind of like dual strike at me. She's got to kind of like turn her body if she's gonna. I know it's not gonna do anything, but I'll just angle around her side and then end the turn.
All right. So as you angle around her side, now moving, almost putting her back to the fallen tower. So she is going to, seeing that she might, like her back is kind of up against this fallen tower. She's going to try and just do a maneuver where she kind of jumps up, pushes off of the fallen tower with her legs, and kind of does a bit of a spin attack towards you. So she's going to roll an athletics. Okay, that's a 16. So she manages to do a spin off the tower, and that is going to roll to hit. Fuck's sakes, that's a 12. All right, so she does a bit of a spin off the tower. You see it coming, and you manage to kind of just step out the way. Both of you seem to be very quick and light on your feet. All right, she's gonna, as she kind of spins, while she's in the air, she's gonna come in and try and slash up at you as you step out the way. Fuck's sake. Okay, no, that's not bad. That's 14.
That hits. Yeah.
All right.
Shit, I haven't hit yet.
Okay, that's 2. That's 1. That's 7 points of damage. As she manages, as you step out the way, you kind of get this bit of a smile on your face, thinking that you've dodged her, but she quickly comes up and strikes you under the chin, like quite a surprise blow as your head gets knocked up. She's gonna, just one more time, she's gonna use one more strike. Oh, she has one more strike. That's a 23 to hit.
Yeah.
Okay, that's 2. That's 3. That's 9 points of damage. As she strikes at your leg, smacking you fucking hard on the leg. From there, she's gonna use her bonus action to disengage from you, as she kind of does a bit of a back. As she hits the ground after the spin, she kind of just keeps rolling with the momentum to move away from you, and she's gonna just take a good 15 feet distance between you two and just eye you. Just to get a bit of space and move away from the tower.
Yeah. Shit. All right. So then, Jacques on 5 HP right now. So
You can do it.
can do it. He's going to use his bonus action to use Second Wind. So that's 1d10 plus 5 HP for him.
All right.
Come on, D10. Give me something good. Okay, so 5 plus 7, that's 12 HP back.
Nice.
So he kind of like centers himself, and then gonna close the gap and gonna go in for the attack. Okay, first attack is a miss with 11. Okay, second attack's a 15.
That just hits.
Okay, so that is 8 plus 5, 13 damage.
Nice.
And then I'm going to use I'm going to save action surge. So yeah, we're going to leave it at that. He closes the gaps, wraps her on the knee, and settles into like an on guard position.
You see the glint in her eyes, like from that strike. Almost give a nod of acknowledgement to the brilliant strike on her, or the blow that just managed to land and beat her defense. All right. Okay, she's going to, similar to what you did, she's going to attempt to disarm your blade with her first action, so she's going to roll to hit. That's a 17 to hit, although it's not high. Okay, a 17. She's going to attempt to roll. The thing is, like, what I usually do when I say, if you want to target something specific, depending on how difficult it is. For example, your AC is 14, right?
Yeah.
What's your dexterity modifier?
Dex is plus 3.
Yeah, so that's 17. So because it's not over that amount, it's and that's a bit of a dexterity move for you to kind of shift out of the way and almost dodge that particular attack. So she doesn't necessarily manage to disarm you, but she still gets the hit in. So that is that's 10 points of damage.
Right.
As you move out the way, she still sees the gap and goes in for the strike. This time round, she's going to spend her 2 actions, or no, her 1 action to try and sweep the leg. So this is going to be a contested dexterity roll
Okay,
to try and
dex
get you on the
save.
ground. Yeah, for you to save.
Okay. That's good. That's 21.
Yeah, that beats her 17.
Oh.
Yeah. And she goes in for the leg sweep. I was like, you're not gonna beat a 17. Fuck it. She goes in for a leg sweep, and you manage to easily jump over it. She looks up, and that ends her turn because she didn't finish her other 2 strikes, so she loses the bonus action. Because she's only quick with her sword, it doesn't necessarily mean she's quick with it. Like if she used that particular action. Anyway, you are up.
Okay, cool. Going in for the attack. First attack is a 15 to hit.
That hits.
Great. So that's 9 damage on the first strike. So she kind of like
Nice.
tries to kick me out, and he just like pokes her in the thigh. So she's got like a lummy. And then the second one is a 14 to hit.
No, that misses, unfortunately.
All right,
you-
but
Yeah.
following through, I'm going to use my action surge. So I get another 2 attacks for the action, hoping that we're going to do something cool here. That's a nat 1.
Fuck. Okay. So that's a crit fail for you.
Yeah.
So I need you to roll a D100 for me, please.
Okay, D100. 18.
Alright, so your enemy takes the opportunity to attack as you leave yourself open. So she gets an opportunity attack on that one as you leave yourself open. That is a 11 to... Oh, fuck, yeah, it's 11, so...
This misses, thankfully.
Yeah, she goes in as she sees an opening. Unfortunately, not being quick enough, she misses the strike. Alright, what do you do?
I have 1 more attack off of that, which is going to be 16 to hit.
That hits, nice. Roll some
Or-
damage.
8 damage.
Nice, okay,
Yeah, and then that's my turn.
perfect. Alright. She's gonna... Yeah, seeing that she's beginning to you're getting in some decent hits there, some strong connections. She's going to use her bonus action to disengage as she quickly steps away. You see the cloak kind of do a bit of like a swish in front of your eyes, almost distracting you a little bit before she very gracefully moves back, and then she's going to pull out a wooden dagger at her side and just chuck it at you or towards you. She moves back about 20 feet. Fuck's sake. That's a 10 to hit.
Just duck to the
Such
left.
fucking terrible rolls, man. Alright. She's gonna pull out another dagger and try again. This is better. 18 to hit.
Oh, definitely.
Alright. That's 5 points of damage.
5.
Yeah.
Yo, I am on 2 HP.
Okay. Well, she's got one more. She's got one more dagger. Wait. Oh no, sorry. It's only 2 ranged. It's only 2 ranged attacks. Only 2. Right. As she kind of grabs her swords again and stands at the ready.
And she's kind of starting to look damaged.
Yeah, I mean you've been giving some really heavy blows. She's been hitting a lot, but her hits haven't been as powerful as yours. So she's looking as if she's tiring a little bit. Yeah.
Well, fucking in for a penny, in for a pound. I'm gonna close the distance and we're gonna attack.
All right. She's gonna use a reaction. Okay, no, sorry, no. You carry on first.
All right, so that's a 17 for the first strike.
Yeah, so she's gonna use an action, parry. So that adds an additional 3 to her AC against 1 melee attack that would hit. So her AC now is 18.
Bitch. Okay.
But it's only for that hit. So as you come in, she sees you coming, and she manages to parry your blow just before it manages to strike her open body.
As that parry goes, it just completely breaks Shark's confidence, and he swipes again with a 12, which misses.
Yeah, as you come down to strike, unfortunately it misses. You see the glint in her eyes, knowing what's to perhaps come. Does that end your turn, or what do you do?
That is all I can do.
Okay, she comes in. She's gonna go for a strike. That's a fucking natural 20.
Describe, how do you kill me?
So seeing you leaving yourself open after that disheartened strike, she just does this double spin, like starting up like high, using the power of her legs, like this springy, it's this very quick twitch muscle movement. She spins, and at that moment, both her weapons hit you at the same time. And as she spins, she goes down, and almost like in a bit of a pirouette, she swipes your feet out from underneath you, and then gets up, and then on top of you, kind of holds the blade to your throat. And with that, yeah.
Jacques is just whirlwind. All he knows is flash of pain on his back. I'm assuming that for plot point, her like face covering can move just a little bit to confirm that she's female.
I'll roll a perception check.
Okay, in my fucked up state, do I notice the gender of my attacker? 12.
I mean, this person seems. Yeah. She seems.
Confused direction. 100%.
Yeah, she seems. This person seems a lot smaller than you, and not a lot. Definitely shorter, and her movements are very graceful, and each step is almost like purposefully, as if each step is thought about. So the way she moves is very feminine like. So you assume this person could possibly be a female. She kind of just her eyes. She doesn't say anything. Her eyes just like look at you, and they kind of crinkle on the edges a little bit before she kind of holds out a leathered hand. Her hand's also wrapped in like a leather glove to help you off the ground.
Oh, okay. Jacques is like winded, and he's trying really hard not to gasp for air. He kind of gets himself under control, and he'll take the hand. He got fucked up.
She pulls you up, and as she does, she immediately walks off to a corner where you see another. It's a tiefling, a red-skinned tiefling. Off in one corner, not very noticeable necessarily. Doesn't seem very boisterous. He almost looks a little bored standing there. She approaches him, and it looks like he just says a word or two. Doesn't look very interested. But this is the end of this round. There's 2 more rounds left, so you can go off into a corner where it's Sassoon and roll hit die to get whatever HP you'd like to get back.
Yes. Okay. So I'll mission to the corner with Sassoon, and where do I see my hit die again?
I think if you go on a short rest.
Yes. Okay, cool. I'm gonna use. Well, look, if I lose the next fight, it's best 2 out of 3. I'm assuming, so then it's game over. So I'm gonna use 3 hit die.
Okay.
3d10. 19.
Nice.
Okay. Oh shit, but I shouldn't take the short rest because that's gonna reset that. Okay. Cool. So I got 19 HP.
Okay, I'm just doing her quickly.
Yeah, no, sorry, I'm gonna do 4 hit die. So I'll just roll one more. That's an additional 2. Fuck off. Okay, 21. 21.
Nice. Okay. All right. Sassoon is there and he's busy, like just kind of pointing out some of her. He's going to roll a perception check to see if he can spot any weaknesses. On during that first round. And he's got a very high perception, so come on, Sassoon. Nice. So Sassoon kind of tells you, listen, I saw when she went when she lunges, she leaves herself open for attack. So be sure to take advantage of that and get underneath her guard. So with that 18, I'm going to give you a reaction. All right. So you'll have one reaction as she attacks to attack her.
Yeah, no. I'm going to turn on my inspiration thing to remind me, but I'll use it as the reaction. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Moth kind of says, right, to your places again. And remember to those of you watching, pay close attention. I doubt you'll see a fight like this anytime soon again. As you guys step up. All right, roll initiative.
Come on.
Oh, that was
16.
bullshit. Well done. You win that round again.
Great.
Nice.
Okay. I'm going to use this opportunity to look on the strewn around area. Is there any way that I could try and sort of harry her in where her footwork would be compromised, like loose bricks on the ground or uneven terrain somewhere?
Yeah, it's actually there is a lot of it, and you do notice that just to the back and right of her, you can see she's taken up position somewhere where the ground is a little bit more stable and even, but just to the back and right of her, I'll say for this particular, actually wait, you need to roll for this. So I'll say roll a perception check for me.
Okay. Not great. 9.
I mean, there is a lot of loose rock and stuff everywhere. So, like to the back and right, you do notice that there is some perhaps loose rock that might trip her up a little bit, but it could just as easily trip you up. So, yeah, not the greatest roll, but she also notices you looking in that direction. You can see her again, like just like creases at the eyes.
Yeah, so she's aware.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
And Moth says, right, begin. And
Cool.
You're up.
All right, I'm going to close the gap and position myself so that I've got kind of not harrying her to the right, but pushing her backwards if I can, to leave that option open.
All right, she's going to do, because of that poor roll, she's going to do almost like a bait and switch kind of reaction where she pretty much moves you around into that poor position. Using your forward momentum. So this is going to be a contested, you're going to roll a dexterity save. Hang on, let me just think. No, you're going to, no, not a dex, it's a strength.
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah. Hang on, she also has to roll though. She's gonna roll.
Okay. Oh shit. Well, a strength save gets me a 19.
Seriously, fuck.
Yeah. Not bad.
Nice.
Oh no, shit.
Okay, well she's got to roll high, yeah. And her dexterity, no, 17. So no, okay, so she doesn't manage to move you, but yeah. Anyway, that was a good effort. All right, what do you do?
Right. So following through, so she tries to kind of like move me, and I shift her back into position. I'm going to use my first attack to strike at her, which is gonna that's 13.
No, that misses, unfortunately.
This is okay, and then I'm going to use the second attack to try and shove her into the the uneven footing to the right.
All right, perfect. Roll a athletics check for me, please. There's going to be an opposed check.
Okay. Ah, that's horseshit. That's 6.
She rolled a 2 plus.
Ah!
No, hers is a minus, so it's a 1. So
The weakest, like, wet noodle wrestling match going.
yeah, it's like. So no, you managed to. You managed to give a shove. It's not a very powerful shove, but her back foot hooks onto a loose piece of rock as she stumbles backwards. She keeps her feet obviously, but now she is in what it would be considered rough terrain.
Okay, cool. And that is the end of my turn.
All right. It's going to be half movement for her to get out, but so what she's going to do is move deeper back into the rough terrain a little bit, and she's going to take her 2 daggers again and just chuck them at you from distance. First one, stats. Sorry. That's 10 to hit. No.
Misses.
This is a 20 to hit.
That hits.
So the first one, you easily manage to parry with your sword. Second one comes lightning fast after, however, and you take 7 points of bludgeoning or damage. As it manages to strike you dead center in the chest.
I'm going to try and use that reaction on her.
It's only a melee attack reaction because it was when she lunges. It's when she lunges, yeah.
Yes, okay, sorry, yeah. Carry on.
All right, but that will end her turn. She's taken her movement. She's probably 25 feet away from you at this point. You're about 5 feet away from the rough terrain.
All right. I would like to use my movement and hopefully do some cool ninja shit, and once again kind of like wall run, leap, kind of to jump over the rough terrain to get into melee range.
Okay, I'll say as you run and leap, up to you. Either roll an athletics or acrobatics check.
Alex plus 6. Fuck, that's a nat 1.
Fuck. As you go to try and do this very cool maneuver that you've had in your mind, you take your first step on a it looked like a stable rock to kind of give you that extra bit of height, but as you step on it, it pretty much crumbles from underneath your foot and you go face first into the ground. And I'll say you take 1 point of damage for that as you hit the ground fucking hard.
Wasn't he supposed to roll like a D100 or something?
For failed, it's more for attacks and things like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I understand. Yeah.
So this is just...
Yeah, fuck.
I'll say that you managed to land like on your knee. It was fucking painful, and you're now in the middle of the rough terrain. You managed to get an extra 10 feet closer. I mean, you got a little bit of air, but you didn't get right up to her, so you still have 15 feet, but you only have 10 feet of movement.
Okay. And she can throw stuff, so that doesn't help. So I can't get close enough to her to enter melee range, but I'll hobble those as far as I can to get as close as I can.
Alright,
really
so
trying not to look like I'm in pain.
Alright, so you make your way across the rough terrain, carefully stepping, ensuring that you don't trip. Alright, you get to just within 5 feet of her. She kind of gives you a bit of a smile. You can't really see, but you assume because her eyes are like now like again just squinting at the edges.
Laughing at me.
And she's going to similar almost to what she did with the wall, except with the tower behind her, except now she just uses the ground and jumps up and does a forward somersault, both swords coming down as she does a bit of like almost like a cartwheel slash.
Yeah.
This is a dex check that I'm rolling first, and that is 12, 16. So she manages to get the air, and now she's going to come down on a slash. That is a 17 to hit.
It's
That's 6 points of damage. They're fucking terrible rolls. And then, so as she does the flip, one of the swords manages to clip you on the head as she comes down. As she lands, she's again going to do a, this time kind of like because as she lands from that flip, she's on her kind of haunches, almost like ready to spring again, and she's going to jump and try and headbutt you, like from the ground up.
okay.
So that's a roll to hit. This isn't a normal attack, so she doesn't get any bonuses, I think, for this one. Although I think it's +2. Yeah. No, I don't think she gets any bonuses. 13.
Just misses.
Alright, so as she comes up for the headbutt, she misses. But she will use her bonus action as she kind of misses, and she stands up like that. She'll use that same momentum to kind of backflip away from you. Very acrobatic.
Yeah.
And she moves about, because it's also rough terrain. She has to move 5 feet towards you, so she moves back 10 feet.
Okay.
Kind of going further back into the rough terrain, almost like circling you a little bit, because it only covers so much space. So she kind of circles back towards where the smoother terrain is, but almost like circling you, keeping that 10 feet to about 10 feet. Yeah.
You guys tell that I normally main a barbarian and never need to worry about damage, and now I don't actually know how to fight. I am going to attempt to do some kind of aerial backflip, front flip, side flip to get next to her, and I'm going to go in for the attacks.
Alright, now you managed to get close to her. I won't have you roll any acrobatics because she's close enough for you to carefully make your way over there and still engage. Alright.
Do that. First strike is a 10, so that miss.
That misses.
Second strike is a 21.
That definitely hits. Roll some damage.
8 damage.
Nice. Alright.
That's my turn.
Alright, she's going to just come in for the first attack, first strike, keeping you engaged. Fuck, that's 2 plus things. That definitely won't make it for the first one. So as she comes in to strike, she completely misses, like the foot slips a little bit. Alright, that's a bit better. That's a 17 to hit.
That'll hit, but I would like to take my reaction on her.
Alright, perfect. Alright, go in for a strike. I will say...
Misses.
Fuck, what did you get?
I got a 10.
Oh, man. Yeah, no, that misses, unfortunately. She sees you coming in for the strike, but you don't quite manage to make use of the... I'll say you'll be able to make that reaction every time, alright? No, well, only once it's a reaction, so you only have one reaction per turn. So at the top of your turn, then it resets, alright?
Okay, cool.
So she goes... Fuck, what did I roll now? I don't know. I rolled a 17, so it did hit, yeah.
Yeah, that hits, yeah.
So that's a high roll, that's a 6. 10
How
points
much?
of damage. A 6 plus 2, so and then plus things, so 10 points of damage.
How do you want to do this?
So this time round, she kind of gives you, with that first strike, she kind of parries over like that, knocks you in the throat, and you kind of get a little bit winded. And as you kind of try and catch your breath, she just, not like trying to humiliate you or anything, she just kind of turns her other blade and holds it at chest level at your heart. Your guard kind of dropping at this point.
I did stop. Try to hide my raging erection.
She just pulls the blades back to her side, and then just gives a short little pow. Her eyes like glinting with like a hint of that you can tell she's probably got a bit of a smile underneath there, or whoever this person is, and turns and walks back towards the red tiefling. And then you hear Moth say, "Winner is Kisna," and you hear the crowd just go crazy, like, woo, woo, clapping hands, going mental. And I mean they don't have much in terms of entertainment in this place, so this was quite the show of skill. I mean, you guys were doing backflips and front flips and sword work that no one in this area has seen before, and skill that no one's ever seen. So I'm sure a lot of the people here have learnt a thing or two. As she walks off, Moth comes up to you and he's got this like sour look on his face because he's just lost some money.
I'm sorry, I should have told him to bet on the opponent.
Moth comes up to you. No, that was a good show. You nearly had her there, but don't worry. Kisna is one of the tougher ones. Sildar called her in to deal with the orcs that were plaguing the roads. They were causing some problem, and they apparently her and her partner made short work of them. Although apparently an ogre escaped, and they haven't managed to track him down. But those orcs shouldn't be a problem anymore.
An ogre, you say?
Oh yeah, nasty thing. Apparently they managed to give a good few hard blows to those two, and made its escape. It's strange. I don't know. He is a half orc. This Moth, and he kind of explains. I don't know what they're doing so far south. These orcs. They usually stick to their realm there in the Sword Mountains. At what's it called? Black Arrow Keep. They don't usually bother. I mean, there's even trade that goes on between us. And Jacques, I think you'd know this because you almost from the region up there. You know that there is a realm or like a border or a small area of land that where orcs kind of live, and they move and trade between the folk that are in the area. There is a level of law there. There's not law. There's no lawlessness. These orcs do have like almost normal villages. I say almost normal because there is still a little bit of brutality that comes through and a little bit of nastiness. But for the most part, it's peaceful, and they, like I say, do fur trading and stuff with the local people around.
Okay, cool.
So that's just some information you'd know. I'd have you roll a history check if you really wanted to know the history behind Dark Arrow and the lands around there.
It's a 10.
You've heard stories, and you've also, I'd say you've probably travelled through there a time or two, but you don't know the history too well. You know that there was a king, you can't recall his name, and he was apparently blessed by their god, and somehow he united the chaotic orc clans and even some goblin clans to come together under one banner. And there was some great battle with dwarves, and at the end there was a truce and land was given, something along those lines. But the exact details aren't particularly interest you particularly.
Okay, cool. So Jacques, having now been thoroughly trounced and getting affirmation from Moth that this was a woman, he's going to turn to Moth and say, "So Moth, she fought like a demon but moved like an angel. I'm in love." I need to be strong enough to kill that ogre. I
She's
think
a-
that's the only way I can get her attention.
She's a quick one, that one, and I'm sure you doing a deed like that will get her attention. She's not one for many words. In fact, I have never heard her speak. Only really conversed with her tiefling friend there. But
Yeah. She strikes me like someone that action would speak louder to. So please train me to be strong enough to take on this ogre.
I'll try and train you, but I see you've surpassed my level of skill, although I can give you some advice and pointers. But sparring with me would be a pointless exercise. I'm more of a drill sergeant, but I'm more than happy to train you, Jacques. Please, if you come round, I'm happy to put you through some drills and some paces.
While we're in town, I'll make an effort to come and train.
Perfect. All right, and with that, we'll call it a scene. We can touch back on that later, perhaps, if you would like to speak to anyone that you might find of interest or whatever. Yeah.
No, because I'm perfect.
All right, let's go to Adar now. So, is there anything particular on this day? You can do other things, like one or two smaller minor things on this particular day, but I know you were previously you were focusing on Roger, and you'd rolled some really good rolls, so you've built a beast of a machine now. So, is there anything you'd like to do within these couple of days? You guys also have a cottage. And at this cottage, I'll say that you walked past it and you've seen it. I wouldn't say it's up to you if you want to explore it or not, but you did notice that there is a bit of what looks to be like a shed. You haven't been inside, but it looks, it tickles your fancy. It almost tickles, like kind of tickles your fancy a little bit.
That is now at the place they gave us.
Yeah. So I think there is a map, but let me paste it, because I know it's probably far up in the chat somewhere. So let me
Just looking for it.
I'll paste it again in the chat.
Paste it.
I'm gonna just put it on the social for now, so it doesn't get lost in the. So
This
it's the
one
wood.
seems different from the one.
No, I don't think so. I don't know, but the woodcutter's house, or a woodworker's house is just underneath the town master's hall.
Woodworker. What? This could be this. Or maybe I just remember it wrong.
So the smithy
Wait.
is at the top there, remember? So as you come into town, the first thing you see is Barthen's provision on the left-hand side, and then the smithy on the right. And then you have the central town area, where
with
the
shrine,
squares, yeah, and the shrine isn't an exact representation. It's more of like a stone structure, an ancient stone like temple or chapel.
In what state is this woodworker's hut?
It looks like it's been well looked after. Like just analyzing the outside of it, it's got a stone base, like about a meter off the ground. It looks like it's made from stone, and then the rest is pretty decent wood. It looks newish, and the roofing is just plain thatch, nothing special or anything. Just a mixture of thatch and some other leaves and things, very rough. The roof doesn't look too great. The wood, however, and the structure itself seems very sound. And then
you can continue.
no, I was just going to say, and then there's that little path, and then across the path on the other side there is another small structure, which is almost part of this this woodworker's house or cottage. It's up to you. If you guys are more than welcome to rename it or whatever. But there's like almost like it's a decently sized shed. It looks like the doors are closed. There's also like a beautiful garden. Not beautiful. It's not really it looked like it's been really kept, but there's some nice trees out back.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay, so we're kind of moving forward in time. Now, since I would have made a Roger while they were in the pits, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Throughout the day, like, I mean, you take
Yeah,
a break,
yeah.
or you'll take a break, obviously. So yeah.
I'm looking for my infusions. Yeah, there they are. I I don't really know something specific to do other than Roger and maybe cleaning up my bag and filling up supplies. You know what? I'm gonna spend the day or the rest of few days we're here, maybe going to the Lion Shield and Barthen's provisions to see where we can get like the best deals on, because we all are on zero provisions. I would like some new alchemist supplies or thieves tools and stuff like that.
All right. So
I desperately need to. Yeah.
okay, so you want to restock. So make a list of things you'd like, and then just send it through, and then or just mention it, and then we can see what we can do about it. Basic provisions like, what do you call it, like food and stuff isn't too. I mean, you'll find it at Barthen's Provisions easily enough. Other things like thieves' tools. That's something that you might need to make yourself, because there isn't just a shop you can walk into that are selling things that allow you to break into people's homes or open doors.
I demand it.
Well, especially in such a, this is a very, it's not a city, it's a small village of simple-ish folk, so a lot of the stuff, if tools need to be made, are very often made yourself. You can perhaps ask the smith to make you those particular tools, but it might take a day or two. So you can commission the work as well if you'd like.
Yeah. Okay, I understand. Yeah.
Other things you might, getting provisions and stuff are good. Stocking up. What other things would you like to get?
Thinking now,
I mean, you guys often collect things. So do you have like containers, and there's also, for example, what was I going to mention? Like alchemy stuff
I mean, I've got lots of. That sword I picked up, the great sword. Is there like I wouldn't call it a barracks, but an area to train, just with some wooden dummies or if not, I think it would be in our best interest to maybe there behind our woodcutter's hut, maybe under the trees, convert that section into a bit of a practice area.
Yeah, I mean, you can set that up if you like. I mean, you have the skill, you've got proficiency in carpentry, I think, and
I don't know if I've got I've got leatherworker, smith's tools, thieves' tools.
Oh, okay. Well, it doesn't matter. I mean,
I'll commission it and then steal it.
Okay. But yeah, so it's easy enough done. There is training that happens up at Tresendor Manor, but it's more like there are a couple of dummy like targets and stuff. But I mean, it's a bit of a walk to get there. Not long, but I mean, it's easier just to put it outside your place.
It's gonna be a distraction if we go there. We're gonna get challenged the whole time.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. Perfect. So you get it. I'd say roll an investigation for me to see if you find somebody that's got the skill enough to do what you'd like, and then you can kind of describe it, maybe write it down in your notes or something so that you have it.
Okay, yeah, and then I'll build it 19, and I'll kind of build it in quotation marks, and then
Yeah.
describe it. Ooh,
No,
okay, yeah.
you find the necessary tools, resources, as well as skill to do everything that you have kind of envisioned for this training area.
Is there somebody in town that can help us with the thatch roof?
I'll say with that same investigation, going about asking these various questions, you do manage to find Quaileen Alderleaf, the halfling who had pointed you to Radoth. She has some skill in thatching, and you kind of go up. Someone points you in her direction, and you go knock on her door, and she's like, "Oh, Adon, good to see you again. What can I do for you?"
Good to see you. Somebody informed me or told me you might have some experience with thatching.
Oh,
Since
yes.
the town bestowed the wood cutter's hut to us travelers, we'd like to fix it up, and maybe you can help us.
All right. No, of course. I just need to make some time. It is sowing season, so okay. No, that's not a problem. I can come spend the afternoon there, and it might take me a day or two, but I'm sure I can patch it right up. I know the poor woodcutter or woodworker man there, his name now slips my mind, the DM's mind. I know he was very proud of his house, and he didn't really. I did offer to assist, but he was a very proud man, and unfortunately, God, tomorrow rest his soul. He wasn't the best when it came to thatching. All right, but I'll be there in the afternoon, and with a bit of help, and I can point you and give you some direction. We'll have it done in no time.
Okay. Then you said it was sowing season.
Whatever the term is where you plant seeds and plow the fields and plant seeds.
Sowing season. I like you can make clothes any time of the year. You know that.
What do you call that? What is
Sowing.
that?
Yeah, it's sowing.
When you're sowing seed, well, ploughing and sowing. So lots to do.
Lots to do.
But no,
Okay.
I'm more than willing to help out.
Excellent.
And then perhaps you could also help me out in the field here, just one day. It'd also make my job a little easier.
Yeah. I've got a very diligent helper called Roger. Hey, Roger, come here. Roger.
Right? Yeah.
And he's excellent for all-day work, pulling carts, plowing, and
This is amazing.
doing stuff like
She
that.
looks at it. She looks. She kind of like, may I? She kind of gestures if she can touch it.
Well, he doesn't bite.
Thank you. And then she kind of goes up. She's like, knocks it like ding ding, like on the middle, like, and whatever.
Fucking
And,
clanker.
yeah. What is he? May I ask?
Is
Or
it
it's-
a steel companion, a construct of sorts? I learned to imbue magic in a type of in the form of a soul almost, but not completely, into this metal construct, and it creates a, what do you call it, sidekick? I don't know.
some sort of helper, but that's amazing. I've never seen such a thing. It's incredible. Are these things common where you're from?
Not too common, but more common than here. I have not seen anything similar on this continent.
Well, I've been around a time or two, and I can honestly tell you, I've never seen such an interesting creation. All right, let's. Well, if you can, I put him to work immediately. I've got lots to do, and then perhaps whilst he's busy ploughing, I can come over and how well does he or it follow instruction?
Not bad, but I think supervision is still is not the highest intelligent.
Okay, I
Roger.
think.
So, but he's got good dexterity.
Right. Okay. Then let me supervise. Then will I be able to give direction?
Yes. Keep it simple. Point directions, and yeah.
Great.
You're more
Thank
than
you.
welcome. Since you help us with that, is there anything I should prepare for the thatch? Is there grass I should cut? Is there
Yes, well, I mean, the fields down south have plenty of good thatching grass, especially now in spring. And we should. It shouldn't take us too long to collect what we need, and put together. Like I said, might take a day or two, but with some extra hands, it will go by before you know it.
Excellent. I'm looking forward. Okay,
Great.
Roger. Listen to the nice lady. This is lady, right?
Yeah, quite a halfling,
Listen.
halfling lady. Yeah.
Listen to the nice lady, and then yeah.
She kinda
See you
looks
later.
up to it. Roger, like this ominous, and now like just fucking decked out with like this hard fucking metal, like just standing like tall, and this little halfling like just looking up at this fucking creation, like oh what the fuck. All right, Roger, this way. She turns
Okay, Roger.
to go towards the fields. All right, perfect. Okay, so is there anything else you'd like to? I mean, there's you can create things, do things. I mean, if you remember when you guys were out there, you were a little bit exposed. I don't know if you want to somehow put something together that will allow you to bear the elements a little bit better, perhaps, or
Like some sort of tent.
yeah, it can be anything, yeah. So just those are just things you can think about, and I mean, you have a place that you can work on as well if you want to add or put, I don't know, and also I'll just mention this as you walk into the shed, there are all manner of tools in there, mostly woodworkers' tools, but they look very very well kept and very well made. You see chisels. You see those things an awl thing that they use to drill holes into wood. You see all different sizes of saws and axes and shavers. You even see a good quality hammers.
I wonder who's gonna take over the woodworkers now, since
Well, you can speak to someone about it and find out who might.
maybe we can start a side hustle here. We get the work in, we employ somebody, and he just works in the shed. We stay in the house.
Yeah.
Passive income, boys. That's how you prepare for the future.
But yeah, it's a decent space in there. I mean, if you'd like, you could even over time try and set up a forge or something like that.
Yeah, I would. I just don't think now's a good time, since
Well, you got to, like I said, you got
focus
2 or 3 days to no, you won't get everything done, but you can start preparing and planning and thinking about things, getting things together.
Between the thatch roof and the training area, I think 2 days are
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's definitely something I'll do, especially if we can find that dwarven forge in the mountains. I got some training there, and
Yeah, perfect. All right. So over the next few days, Ada, you're busy putting things together, and if there's anything else like minor that you can think of that you'd like to do, you're more than welcome to. So just mention it. All right. Okay, so at this point, unless there's anything else anyone would like to try or discuss or do, we won't jump, I think, because... Yeah?
I don't know, I'm not sure that they get the tea from Sister Karela.
No, no one had asked yet, so you're more than welcome to go and have a discussion with her if you'd like.
Yeah, I'll definitely go have a discussion with her.
All right, so
I
you,
feel that is critical.
you find her just busy, like kind of sitting there in the entryway of the smallish temple or chapel, on a stone kind of bench, very rough looking stone bench, with a book in her hand, busy reading. Adar, what can I do for you?
Hello, Sister Geralda.
Garela.
Garela.
That's all right.
We met a colleague of yours, a druid.
Yes,
Up
Rayoth,
in-
I've heard that Emma has told me much.
Told you much.
Yes.
Now he served us up some tea and gave us some of the dry herbs as a takeaway or what do you call it? As rations, provision or whatever. And we were wondering maybe if you know how to make it or something similar.
Let me just think for a moment. It
Was,
sounds familiar.
You felt rejuvenized and
Oh
quite
yes.
awake and refreshed, and it was something surreal. You can be as tired as anything, and then after a few sips, it's as if you've just woken up from a decent rest.
I know exactly what you're talking about. It's well, there's no real name for it, but I like to call it lion's roar. Since
Lion's roar.
since it as it goes down into you, it gives you. I understand that feeling that you have when you drink it. But yeah, it's made from unfortunately a very rare plant or flower, and it's very hard to come by. I know Radoth. I've tried some of it. He grows it himself with magical means, being a druid and all. So, if you would like some more, I could perhaps request Radoth to send over some, or I can send someone to go and collect some for you if you'd like.
Yeah, and
I'm sure
if-
he'd be willing to help. He's I've been meaning to send a message to him in regardless. I haven't touched base with him in a while, and there's much happening that I think needs to be informed about.
Yeah, that would much appreciate it, and then just thank him since he did help us immensely getting out of the forest and navigating to Cragmore Castle with his funny bunny. And
Oh yes, Sprinkles. That
Sprinkles.
one's quite a character, that one.
Quite a character. No, you can say that again. But nonetheless, please tell him we're safe in Phandalin, and thank you.
All right, no.
And if it's possible, if we can maybe get some of those plants or a sample or something, and we can set up a...
They don't grow well in this region. Apparently, they come from far in the east, and they don't grow well. Yeah, I can try. Let me ask him to send over some seeds, perhaps, and maybe some instruction on how to keep them, and you can
Maybe,
give it a go.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll.
Okay, yeah. But if you can send some, at least just some of the dry flowers to make a few batches.
All right. No, I'll definitely ask him to do that.
Thank you.
All right. No, it's a pleasure, and
Have a lovely day.
you too. If there's anything else you need, please don't hesitate to ask. And I'm sure Emma has. I've also had a discussion with her, and she, I know, is eager to speak to the group or your party on quite a number of different things. So just keep me abreast of what's happening.
Okay. Perfect.
Good day to you, and may
Perfect.
tomorrow's
Good day.
light shine upon you.
Praise be.
All right.
And that that's pretty much it.
Okay,
Um,
perfect. I'll also say that because it's morning, I don't think Beatrick and Emma, I don't think we rolled this morning's little poison, little disease that's busy spreading through your bodies at this moment.
oh, our bodies.
So
We were really hoping you didn't notice, but yeah.
Die swakkelinge.
so let's roll some damage. So D4s.
Give us just 1 second. I'm gonna roll mine, Richard's gonna just do this shortly. Just straight D4, no nothing, no modifiers and nothing.
No, just straight 1D4.
Okay. Getting there. And roll. Yeah, for me that'll be a. Oh, lucky me. 1.
Yes, you're just getting ones the whole time.
Right?
Fucking okay.
You need to roll a D4. We're waiting for Ranger to roll in the meantime.
Alright.
Drop it to roll off my profile, but I'm scared I'll get a 4 then.
Yeah, you don't want to be blamed. Beatrick, what have you done?
Mine is
Right. Exactly.
Yeah? What you get there, Emma?
She's getting it. She's getting it.
I'm giving him the friend sign.
She don't appreciate that joke.
Not the one I wanted for.
Default for your condition. A very special condition. No pressure, we were just waiting for you.
I go on the floor. Before.
Straight.
Well,
With advantage, well.
how do I go by it
Yeah.
now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Default, the bottom.
I'll get my mouse.
Okay, and that'll be a 4. Fuck. We're just
4.
joking about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're getting some really bad rolls.
Cheers.
And I assume you're casting aid on yourself and Beatrick, hey Emma?
Well, I didn't prepare anything during my previous session.
Okay, so no, I mean you would know that your vitality is leaving you, so and the aid spell does assist with that. So oh sorry. So you, I mean, if you wanted to be prepared, you're welcome to.
Let me just see if it's one of my spells.
Or I don't know if you have aid, but I assume most clerics do.
No, not here because I have medicine is not my. And I can kick my own ass plenty of times. Let me see. I think medicine
I'm growing rats under my arms.
adds.
You going once?
Growing rats out from under my arms.
Me, see, it's me, Ratman.
Ew.
Is one of them at least named Splinter?
Oh, that would have been a cool name. No, one is Coco, the other one is
Vanilla.
no, Cece.
Cece.
Yeah, Coco and Cece are the 2 white ones, and then the 2 black ones are I call them Eek and Squeak, but it's
Should name them after the Mighty Mice.
Remy.
Oh,
yeah, I should have,
that
yeah.
would have Cool.
Right, biker mice. What was it? Biker mice. Yeah.
Yeah, biker mice. Yeah. No, I don't have any hand in the naming, so I did give suggestions, but they weren't taken into consideration. So.
Aw. Just get more rats.
No, thank you.
Two more black rats and I will be Gloin and Oin.
Exactly.
Gloin and Oin. So cute names. All right, so you rolled a 4 there. Do you want to add aid to your spell? That just means that each day that if you do decide to cast it, you have to subtract it from your spell slot.
Well, since my long rest that I've prepared all my spells, the previous section that I sent you, I haven't prepared 8 and I don't think I've got it.
Okay, well that's okay. It's not the end of the world because I mean you guys are still walking around. But
Yeah.
yeah, Emma, you appear to be suffering a lot more from this malady than Beatrick. Your vitality draining from you. But yeah, we'll roll the next days as time goes. But we just did that one day now. All right. Anything else that anyone would like to do? Adar, do you want to try your hand or Beatrick at the pits or collect some things or hey?
No, we're not. Sorry, something else happened. We're laughing at something else.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
But if there's nothing else, I don't think. I think we can perhaps end it. I mean, I suppose there are quite a few of us here, except for Sassoon. But unfortunately, Sassoon has the rock, so I don't know. There might be some conversation surrounding that, and I don't know how willing he is to just give it up at this point. And I don't want to speak for him.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, we are quite tired on this side, so.
Yeah. All right. So I think we'll call it there, guys. If everyone's happy.
Okay, thanks everybody.
Yeah, a little loosey-goosey session there, but also if there's something you think about and you want, you're more than welcome to chuck it into the session resolve.
Time to do that more often.
Yeah. It's just it just helps like to make these off times a little bit faster, because I mean it would have been nice to have Sassoon here just because some of this now hinges on that. Not it doesn't hinge on the stone, but I mean there's a lot of discussion to have with Galrin if you guys are going to follow him, or if you're going to go off to Neverwinter, or pretty much what is the move from here. So. And I know I'll still probably have some private messages with one or two of you as we go. But yeah, we'll leave it at that for now, I think.
Thanks guys.
Sweet. Have a lucky night, everyone.
Thank you.
Good night further, Lacquer Friday.
Cheers, enjoy guys, have a good weekend.
Whoop whoop.